Have you ever felt like someone else is just more talented than you, and there's nothing you can do about it? What if I told you that talent is only the beginning, and that hard work can not only catch up, but actually beat talent every single time? Stay with me, because in this video you'll see exactly why effort matters more than natural ability, and how you can use that truth to rise above anyone who seems to have an edge over you. From the moment we're young, the world seems to worship talent. We hear about the kid who was a natural at sports, the one who breezed through school without opening a book, or the artist who could draw perfectly from day one. We're told these stories so often that talent starts to look like destiny. But destiny is a myth. Talent is nothing more than a starting point. It gives someone a head start, sure, but without work it doesn't go far. Hard work, on the other hand, can take an ordinary person and turn them into someone extraordinary. That's what we're diving into today. Why effort matters more than talent, why so many people with gifts fade out, and how you can use steady effort to climb beyond what anyone expects. Think of talent as a spark. It's bright, it's exciting, but on its own it burns out quickly. Hard work is the firewood. It's what keeps the flame alive and growing into something powerful. Talent is something you're born with, but hard work is something you choose. And because it's a choice, it has no ceiling. You can always push further, always improve, and always add another layer to who you are. When people rely on their talent, they usually stop when things get tough. But the person who relies on hard work, they've trained themselves to keep going even when the spark has burned out. That's why, in the long run, hard work wins. At the beginning, talent looks unbeatable. The quick learner tops the class, the gifted athlete dominates their first season, the creative genius impresses everyone around them. But comfort is dangerous. When success comes easily, people stop stretching themselves. They avoid challenges because they don't want to risk losing that talented label, and slowly they fall behind. Meanwhile, the person who didn't start with natural advantages has been grinding from day one. They've failed, struggled, and fought their way forward. In the process, they've developed grit, patience, and discipline. Years later, those qualities make all the difference. The talented one has stalled whilst the hard worker has kept climbing, and by then it isn't even close. So why does hard work eventually outshine talent? It's because effort doesn't just add up, it multiplies. When you practice every day, you don't just get a little better, you build habits, you learn lessons, and you strengthen your resilience. Each hour of effort lays a foundation for the next. Over time, the growth becomes exponential. It's like saving money. You put in a little at first and it doesn't seem like much, but keep adding to it and it starts to compound. Before long, the person who started small but stayed consistent has far more than the one who began with plenty but stopped adding. That's what effort does to skill. It compounds until it leaves talent in the dust. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a moment where you weren't the most naturally gifted, but through steady effort you surprised yourself, maybe in school, work, sports, or even a hobby? Share your story in the comments, because those real examples prove just how powerful consistency can be. History is filled with people who prove this truth. Take Demosthenes. He was born with a weak voice and a speech impediment. Hardly the makings of a great speaker. But he trained himself every day, shouting against the roar of the sea, practicing speeches with stones in his mouth, forcing his voice to grow stronger. He went on to become the most powerful orator in Athens. That wasn't a gift, that was grit. Or Thomas Edison, who tested thousands of materials before finding one that worked for the light bulb. Most would have quit after 10 tries. He didn't. He once said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That kind of persistence is what changed the world. And then there's Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was born a slave. He had no wealth, no connections, no advantages, yet through discipline and learning, he built a philosophy so strong that people still read his words today. His effort outlived empires. The lesson is clear. Talent may set the stage, but only hard work writes the lasting story. If effort is so powerful, why do most people give up? Because effort demands patience. You might have to put in weeks of study before your grades move. You could train for months before your body shows change. And you might work for years before anyone notices your craft. Talent, on the other hand, offers quick results. It looks glamorous, it gets attention fast, but that attention fades just as quickly. Hard work asks you to delay gratification, and most people aren't willing to do that. They quit before the payoff arrives, never realising how close they were. This waiting period acts like a filter, separating those who truly want it from those who only want it if it comes easy. So how do you actually make hard work your edge in life? It starts with showing up. Not once, not in bursts, but every single day. Even when you don't feel like it, and even when results seem invisible. That steady presence builds a foundation that nothing else can. It's also about how you see failure. Instead of treating setbacks as proof that you're not good enough, treat them as proof that you're learning. The person who fails the most often ends up learning the most. And finally, it's about identity. Don't just tell yourself, I'll try to work harder. See yourself as the kind of person who works hard, no matter what. Once it becomes who you are, effort stops being something you force and it becomes automatic. You don't have to look far to see this principle at work. The student who wasn't the smartest in the room but who kept showing up to study ends up at the top of the class. The worker who wasn't the most charismatic but who always delivered ends up being the one promoted. The person with average genetics who stuck to training outlasts the naturally fit who stopped showing up. Even in parenting, it's not about talent, it's about presence. A parent who shows up every day with patience and care outshines the one who leaves it all to chance. Everywhere you look, the same truth plays out. Talent may start fast, but effort always lasts longer. It's tempting to believe that life is decided by gifts that you either have or don't, but the truth is far more empowering. Talent may give someone a head start, but it doesn't guarantee the finish. What does guarantee the finish is effort. Effort compounds. Effort builds character. Effort outlasts every shortcut. So the next time you feel behind, remember this. Talent is only potential. Hard work is progress. And progress beats potential every single time. What's one area of your life where you'll lean on hard work instead of waiting for talent? Let us know in the comments. And if this message hit home, hit the like button and subscribe for weekly content.